Hey guys, Chris of the Polish Geek, and welcome to the review of the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I was kind of looking forward to it because, wow, what a shame, because this was a perfect opportunity for Marvel to actually turn the tide, because I really loved the Netflix Daredevil series. I thought that Netflix Daredevil series and The Punisher as well, and the first season of Jessica Jones, all those series were really fantastic crime dramas, and I thought that they were just so much better from the actual MCU, even from the best of the MCU. That's right, I thought that those like street level crime drama shows of Daredevil, The Punisher, and the first season of Jessica Jones, I thought those were really fantastic shows, and when they were discontinued, it was kind of a shame. I thought that maybe it was actually for the best, so that the shows would actually keep quality, because as I just said, the first season of Jessica Jones was fantastic, but later the show didn't really know what to do with itself, and it kind of went downhill. But like both of both seasons of The Punisher and all three seasons of Daredevil were just fantastic, and I thought that maybe ending them at this moment was for the best, although there's still plenty of stories to explore with the Daredevil, so I did feel like that, like maybe the completion of Bullseye's arc, so I thought that maybe one more season of Daredevil wouldn't hurt, and this is a perfect example. Reviving this beloved fantastic series was really a perfect opportunity for Marvel, because it was a fantastic crime drama series full of gritty and dark, full of fantastic, well-written characters written by really passionate writers. So, as I just been saying, Daredevil Born Again was a perfect opportunity for Marvel to actually turn the tide, but I think that if those first two episodes are an indication, this might be a last straw for a lot of Marvel fans, because people have been worried that this is gonna be like a Disney-fied version of Daredevil, and even though the trailers reassured all the fans, oh no, we're again very much keeping this gritty, crime-ridden drama that the fans all loved so much. We're keeping it very much, and the trailers showed it, all that, but the actual show, based on first two episodes, it doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, as of now, it seems more like it's basically like a little kid standing on a chair high up, drawing mustache on himself and putting a coat of his father and saying, oh look, I'm an adult. Yep, this is pretty much what it feels like, with all the, how they claimed, oh, we're going full crime dark drama like the original Netflix series. What I mean is that the original Daredevil series on Netflix, and The Punisher for that matter, were very much R-rated, but they desperately try to keep the dark, gritty tone, but at the same time they want to keep the PG-13 rating to kind of make it fit with the Disney Plus, and as a result, there's just so many inconsistencies, and the show outright is afraid of showing you some of the actual good fight scenes because of that, and other times they feel just like so bland because the show is afraid of going violent, even though one of the things that made the original Daredevil Netflix so great is because specifically it was violent and R-rated, oh my gosh, and one of the biggest things, and here we are entering gigantic spoiler territory, but then again, considering this is like in the very first episode, it hardly can be considered spoiler territory. But do you remember how they were saying that Karen Page and Foggy weren't be returning, but of course the fan backlash was huge, and rightfully so, because they were great characters, and I still think there are plenty of great stories to go with them, but what happens? Foggy gets killed off almost right away by Bullseye for no reason other than like just killed off. Which is almost basically like a middle finger, a straight up middle finger to fans. While Karen Page on the other hand just moves because she wants just like to divorce herself from the situation. While this is a huge nail in the coffin, and honestly, I don't see the show being able to recover from it, because the second episode, which we'll soon briefly talk about, was actually a little bit better than this one, but after what they did with the two beloved characters, I just don't see it recovering in any way. Especially there were still so many interesting things I could see done with Karen Page and Foggy. Like what I wanted actually from Karen Page, I was hoping that maybe she would have like a romance with someone and a kid, that will really be an amazing story for Karen Page. But no, it's like, as I said, originally they were actually planning to kill them both off screen, but what now they did is pretty much similar thing, except they just like had to show them on screen because fans wanted so, but it's certainly not what the fans actually wanted with Foggy and Karen Page, but that's what it is. And there are also plenty of plot holes and straight up contradictions, like the main villain again is Wilson Fisk, but he's completely acts out of character now. Like, I haven't read the comics, but from what I've seen in the first 3 seasons, like him and Vanessa were like just so like devoted to each other, but now she's cheating on him, and worse, actually, literally, at the end of 3rd season, Wilson Fisk actually literally promised to stay away from Mark Murdoch's family, but now it's just completely forgotten, and it feels like more along the lines of like just having a story, but there is absolutely no logical progression from season 3. In fact, it just feels like the writers just basically read a brief summary of what season 3 was about instead of actually watching the episodes and then let's go on from there. That's what it literally feels like. And even Matt Murdock acts completely out of character. Like when Foggy gets killed, it never once crosses his mind that Wilson Fisk might be behind it. Like, excuse me. And then the 2nd episode was a slight improvement, but the damage has been done. Episode 2 was slightly better, and there were several scenes I will go as far as say I outright really liked, and there was one I would say straight up loved, but it does really make up for all the shortcomings that first episode already done. So this is one of those examples where I just can't see this recovering anymore because the damage has pretty much been done in the first episode. But the 2nd episode mostly focuses on Matt Murdock embracing his role as Daredevil, even though at the very beginning, in the first episode, that's where he was planning to retire from his role as Daredevil until he heard about Wilson Fisk, while Wilson Fisk comes fully to his role as the Kingpin. So that's what I did kind of like in the 2nd episode, how actually they were getting into things that people admittedly pretty much want, like the Daredevil and the Kingpin. And there was also really one scene that I would go as far as say I really loved, because that's something I was very much convinced that they would do, but it actually seems with all the things, thankfully, that's not the one they're doing. But one of my favorite things about the original series was Matt Murdock's Catholic faith, and it very much played an essential role of his character. I'm a Roman Catholic myself, and Matt Murdock's Catholic faith was actually literally one of my favorite parts about the original series, and I was very much convinced that Disney was gonna completely drop that off, but thankfully that's not the case. And in fact, there was one scene where Matt Murdock is walking past old church and hearing this beautiful church choir, and then basically his Catholic faith being kind of used as an allegory of his superhero activities. So I will have to give credit that I'm at least glad they kept his Catholic faith, which was one of the most essential parts of his character, and also one of my favorite ones, actually. All in all, that one element doesn't save the overall show, and even if the 2nd episode's admittedly some things were pretty interesting, it doesn't change the fact that the 1st episode has done so much damage that at this point I just don't see this recovering in any way, shape or form, unless at least maybe Karen Page moves back and comes to her role and they have some really awesome interesting story for her, but they got rid of her character for a reason. So at this point I just don't see how is that recovering. Especially at this point, the only interesting characters are Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, while all the new characters are so bland, boring, uninteresting. So, yes, 1st episode trash. 2nd episode, slight improvement, and I did really like several elements, but at the end of the day, the 1st episode done so much damage, I just don't see how can this recover. And this is such a shame, because the original Netflix series was awesome, and this was really a perfect opportunity for Marvel to turn things around and actually give fans something they actually want, something that's actually good. And the revival of that beloved Netflix series with still so many interesting stories to explore was a perfect opportunity, but they just have to blow it up. And for a lot of people, this should really be the last show for Marvel. And I mean, for me, the last show was already some time ago, but that's what this channel is for. So here is an advice for you. If you love the original Netflix series if you love the original Netflix Daredevil series, then don't listen to what all the mainstream critics were praising the hell out of it and say how good it is, because it's not. And if you really love the original Netflix series, then in my opinion, this is a straight up insult. So, if you wanna watch it, go ahead. But trust me, this is not what the mainstream critics are telling you it is. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for checking out this video. Press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you soon in another video. Talk to you then, bye!